You're not bad with money. You're not irresponsible. You're not reckless. You didn't blow your paycheck on stupid stuff. But right now, tonight, there is a number sitting on a credit card statement that you haven't told anyone about. Maybe it's $2,000. Maybe it's $9,000. Maybe it's more. And the craziest part? You have absolutely no idea how it got that big, that fast. Here's what nobody tells you. That number wasn't an accident. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't even your fault in the way you think it was. You were set up. Deliberately. Mathematically. Psychologically. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how it happened, and more importantly, how the people who design these systems make sure you never pay it off. My name doesn't matter. What matters is this. The credit card industry in America generated over $130 billion in interest and fee revenue last year alone. That money came from somewhere. It came from you. Let me describe someone you might know. She's 28. Works in marketing. Makes decent money. Not rich, but solid. She has a credit card she's been using since college. A $5,000 limit back then felt huge. She told herself she'd only use it for emergencies. Fast forward 6 years. The limit is now $11,000. The balance is $8,400. And every single month, she pays the minimum, $180. She feels responsible because she never misses a payment. Her credit score is actually pretty good. But here's what she doesn't know. At an 18% interest rate, which is actually below the current national average, paying only the minimum on $8,400 means she will be paying on that debt for over 23 years. She will pay back more than $22,000 on $8,400 she spent. That is not a mistake. That is not bad math. That is the system working exactly as designed. And if you have a credit card, any credit card, this might already be happening to you right now. Here's something that will blow your mind. The credit card as we know it, the revolving credit card where you carry a balance and pay interest, was essentially illegal in most of America until 1978. Before that, usury laws in most states capped the interest a lender could charge, usually around 12%. Lending someone money and charging them 20, 25, 29% interest was considered predatory. It was banned. Then in 1978, the Supreme Court ruled in a case called Marquette National Bank versus First of Omaha that a bank could charge whatever interest rate was legal in the state where the bank was headquartered, not where the customer lived. Within 2 years, credit card companies had moved their headquarters to South Dakota and Delaware, 2 states that had quietly removed all interest rate limits. Overnight, the rules that protected American consumers from predatory lending disappeared for every single person in the country. And the credit card industry exploded. Between 1980 and 2005, credit card debt in America went from under $50 billion to over $800 billion. That's not people suddenly becoming irresponsible. That's an entire system being unleashed. And the most sophisticated psychological trap in financial history was just getting started. The credit card industry spends hundreds of millions of dollars every single year on behavioral psychology research. Not to help you, to keep you spending. Let me give you 3 of the most powerful tricks they use, and I promise, once you see these, you will never look at your credit card the same way again. When you get your statement and it shows a minimum payment, say $35 on a $1,500 balance, your brain anchors to that number. $35 feels manageable. It feels responsible. You pay it, and you feel like you handled it. But that $35 barely touches the interest. The actual balance barely moves. And next month, the trap resets. Banks have literally done internal research showing that displaying a minimum payment amount causes people to pay less than they would have if the minimum payment wasn't shown at all. They know this. They use it anyway. Trick number 2. The reward system. Cashback. Points. Miles. Travel rewards. You probably have a card with one of these right now. Here's the math they don't show you. The average rewards card charges an interest rate 2 to 4 percentage points higher than a basic card. The average American who carries a balance earns about $25 a month in rewards and pays over $60 a month in extra interest compared to a no rewards card. You are paying $60 to earn $25. They call it a reward. The correct word is a bribe. Trick number 3. The credit limit increase. You've been responsible for 6 months. You get a notification. Congratulations, your credit limit has been increased. This feels like a reward. It feels like trust. What it actually is is an invitation to spend more money at 22% interest. Studies show that every time a credit limit increases, average spending on that card goes up within 60 days. They know this. That's why they do it. You are not playing a game with a credit card company. You are playing against a billion-dollar machine that has studied exactly how your brain works and built a system specifically designed to keep you in debt forever. Let me show you something that will genuinely make your stomach drop. The current average credit card interest rate in America is around 22%. That is not the rate for people with bad credit. That is the average for everyone. Let's say you have $10,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest. You decide to get serious. You pay $500 a month, which for most people is a huge stretch. At $500 a month, it takes you over 2 years to pay it off, and you will pay more than $2,000 for $100 in interest alone, on top of the $10,000 you spent. Now here's where it gets really brutal. What if you only pay $200 a month, which is closer to what most people actually manage? It takes you almost 6 years, and you pay over $4,000 in interest. 6 years of payments. For $1,000 extra. Gone. For spending $10,000 you already spent. But here's the flip side, and this is what changes everything. What if instead of paying $200 a month to a credit card company, you were paying $200 a month into an investment account earning 8% annually? In 6 years, you'd have over $19,000. Same $200 a month. One path gives a credit card company $4,000. The other path builds you $19,000 in wealth. The difference between those two futures is not income. It's not luck. It's one decision about where that $200 goes. Here's the part of this conversation that almost nobody talks about, and it might be the most important part. For millions of Americans between 20 and 35, credit card debt isn't just a financial problem. It has become the background noise of their entire adult life. They graduated into it. They furnished their first apartment on it. They covered the medical bill on it. They bought the flights home for the holidays on it. They never had a moment, not one clean moment, of zero credit card debt as an adult. And when something is always there, when debt is just always part of the landscape of your life, you stop seeing it as a crisis. You start seeing it as normal. But it is not normal. Your grandparents didn't live this way. Credit card debt at these rates simply did not exist for most of American history. This is a 40-year experiment conducted on an entire generation. And the scariest part? When you carry a balance, you are not just in debt. You are working, in part, for the credit card company. A portion of every paycheck you earn goes directly to them before you see a dollar of benefit from it. You traded your future hours of work for things you already consumed. And now you are paying for those things, plus 22%, with hours you haven't worked yet. That is the real cost of credit card debt. Not the number on the statement. The hours of your life attached to it. Okay, I'm not going to leave you there. Because there is a way out, and it is not complicated. It is just not comfortable. Here's the framework that actually works. Step 1. Stop the bleeding. You cannot dig out while you are still digging. You need to stop adding to the balance. Not reduce. Stop. Cut the card up if you have to. Freeze it in a block of ice. I'm serious. People do this. Put friction between you and spending. The goal is 0 new charges while you attack the balance. Step 2. Pick your target. There are 2 methods that work, the avalanche and the snowball. The avalanche method. You pay the minimum on everything except the card with the highest interest rate. You throw every extra dollar at that one. Mathematically, this saves the most money. The snowball method. You pay the minimum on everything except the card with the lowest balance, regardless of interest rate. You pay that one off first. Then you roll that payment into the next one. This is psychologically powerful because you get wins fast, and wins create momentum. Which one is better? The one you actually stick to. The average American household spends over $200 a month on subscriptions they rarely use. Streaming services, apps, boxes, memberships. $200 a month is $2,400 a year. At 22% interest, that is the equivalent of nearly $11,000 in credit card debt just evaporating. You don't need a raise. You need an audit. Step 4. Make the system work for you. Once the debt is gone, and it will be gone, the credit card doesn't disappear from your life. You just use it completely differently. You pay the balance in full. Every month. No exceptions. When you do that, you are using the bank's money for free for up to 30 days. You are earning rewards on purchases you were going to make anyway. And you are building a credit history that will save you thousands on future mortgages and car loans. The card is not evil. The balance is evil. I want to leave you with one thought because I think it reframes everything. Credit card debt in America is not a personal finance failure. It is a system failure that was designed to look like a personal finance failure. The industry spent decades lobbying to remove protections. They spent billions engineering psychological traps. They market debt as freedom, as rewards, as a lifestyle upgrade. And then when you end up buried, the message you get from every financial guru and magazine is, you should have been more disciplined. That framing is convenient for them. And it is a lie. Yes, you have to be the one who gets out. Yes, the decisions from here forward are yours. But understanding that this was built to trap you is not an excuse to stay trapped. It is the reason you fight harder to get free. Because once you see the machine, once you understand exactly how it works, you stop feeling ashamed about the balance. And you start feeling something more useful. You get angry. And anger, aimed in the right direction, pays off debt fast. The average person who gets serious, who stops adding debt, picks a payoff method, and finds even $200 extra a month, can eliminate most credit card debt in 2 to 4 years. 2 to 4 years from now, every dollar that was going to a credit card company goes to you instead. That's not a small thing. That is freedom. If this hit different, if you looked at your own situation and saw yourself in any of this, hit that like button and subscribe. Because next week we're going to talk about the credit score game and why everything you were told about building credit might actually be keeping you broke. I'll see you there.